Hello and welcome to this post-match analysis of the first ODI between South Africa and India. I'm Abhishek Paul, and India have lost the match by 31 runs, and South Africa they have taken a 1-0 lead in the three-match series. Joining me in this analysis is my colleague Nikhil Narayan. Nikhil, I mean, it was a disappointing show, right? I mean, the target South Africa, of course, they're batting first. Temba Bavuma and Rassie they scored brilliant centuries, and they put up a huge target. I mean, huge target considering the slow pitch at Paarl and they scored 296 for four. But India, they just, despite a great start by Shikhar Dhawan and good support by Virat Kohli, they could manage just 265 for it. There you can see the scorecard on the screen. Shikhar Dhawan, he scored 79, Virat Kohli 51. But at the end, the Indian challenge that just fizzled out, right, Nikhil?
Absolutely, Abhishek. I think India, as we discussed in the mid-inning show, Abhishek, India's conceded 50 runs too many. 250 was the score they were looking to chase down on this wicket. Definitely not 296.
Right.
So they were always under the pump in the chase. Although Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli put out 90 odd for the second wicket, but it was also always going to be a hard task because there's not much experience after Dhawan and Kohli in the middle order. Also, I think again I mentioned this in the preview that I think KL Rahul is making a mistake by opening the innings. We saw that he was in double mind today, whether to go after the bowling or to play anchor. I think Rahul plays his natural aggressive game and is best for India when he bats at number 5.
Right. I mean, we'll of course come to India's batting and discuss at length about India's batting, but let's have a brief chat about the brilliant 204-run stand between Van der Dussen and Bavuma. I mean, that really set the tone for the match for the host, right? I mean, the hosts were 68.3 inside 18 overs. Their run rate was less than 4 runs per over, and then from there, these two guys they batted with responsibility. And while Bavuma, he was cautious, he's a skipper, he led from the front. Van der Dussen was quite adventurous. He took his risks and got the returns.
Absolutely. Bavuma was playing anchor initially, and Rassie Van der Dussen, he came out with a positive intent, and he was the aggressor in the partnership. 204 run stand, when any team has a stand of a double century stand, any pair in a match, in all probability their team wins, and that was the case with South Africa. The second highest partnership for South Africa versus India, the second highest partnership at Paarl. Absolutely brilliant performance. I'm especially impressed by how Van der Dussen played. His ODI average is near 75 in 20 odd innings. Great start to his ODI career. Also, Bavuma is averaging around 55 in ODIs. A very matured innings for Captain Bavuma today. And together, they just did not give India any chance today, Abhishek, in the match. They, the way they built the partnership, they almost took away the match from India without India letting know that the match is going away from them. And India, again, as we have discussed in the show before, very lackluster on the field.
Right, and being lackluster, there were two crucial aspects, for that lackluster display. One was definitely Bumrah was, as usual, he was good, but then Yuzvendra Chahal in the middle overs, while the last time India toured, he got regular breakthroughs. Today, he gave 53 runs in 10 overs, but could not get any wicket. Ravichandran Ashwin also gave away 53 runs, took 1 wicket. Basically, it was this story of middle overs, right? And considering vis-a-vis, if you see the South African bowling attack, I think it was their middle overs, the kind of bowling that they did in the middle overs that really broke India's middle order, right? I mean, that was a difference, the turning point for the two innings.
Absolutely. Also, South Africa was smart. Bavuma was smart. He started with Markram in the power play.
Right.
He was very economical. The slowness of the wicket, giving the ball to a spinner, good thinking by Temba Bavuma. KL Rahul did not show much application on the field. His first match as captain maybe. but not enough bowling changes when the chips were down. Let the match progress. And it just played into South Africa's hands by doing so.
Right, and I think as you correctly mentioned, South Africa started with Markram. He's their sixth bowler. He's not the sixth bowler, but that part-time bowler. He used it smartly. Bavuma knew that India might be tentative at the start, so got rid of like 4 or 5 overs from Markram, and he also picked a wicket, important wicket, right? And overall, if we have to look at the positives, definitely Shikhar Dhawan's innings, 79-run innings. There were a lot of talks about him facing an existential question, as far as his international cricket career is concerned, because he's no longer part of the Test squad. He doesn't fit in the T20 scheme of things anymore. Though his strike rate did improve in the last IPL, last 2-3 IPLs, he has been trying to change that, but. What an innings that was! What a start Shikhar Dhawan gave.
Dhawan has been a brilliant ODI player for India even since 220. He has an average of 60, strike rate of in the 90s. Very consistent. Today was his 750 in 12 innings since 220. So Dhawan has been an absolute brilliant opener, amongst the best in the world, I would say, in the last few years. He will be in the scheme of things till at least the 2023 World Cup. I think after that he will retire. But I think as far as the India lost the match, Abhishek, in two places basically. Firstly, they lost the match in their bowling, conceding 50 runs extra, and there I think the Yuzvendra Chahal, as you mentioned, and also Shardul Thakur was very disappointing today. 10 overs, 72 runs. Last 12 innings, 11 times he's conceded above 6 runs per over. And another interesting stat is, since his debut in August 2017, amongst all fast bowlers, he has the most expensive economy rate of 6.81 in ODI cricket in the world. That's that is really, really expensive. He takes wickets, Abhishek, but you cannot be conceding 6.8 runs per over on an average in ODI cricket. That's just too expensive.
Right, and another point, while you mentioned about the turning points, I think that middle phase over, right? Virat Kohli, he was dismissed in 29th over. By the 34th over, both Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant, they were gone. And then in the 36th over, Venkatesh Iyer, who is being seen as the future fast bowling all-rounder, though he was, I don't know, for some strange reason, he was not even given 1 over in today's match. That entire 4-5 batters, 3-4 batters, fell. After, of course, Virat Kohli, he scored another, patient, cautious half century, but the wait for his 71st ton is still on. That phase of 7-8 overs that really crushed India.
Absolutely, the Dhawan's wicket was a turning point. After Dhawan's wicket, there was a collapse basically. Virat Kohli fell soon after, much against the run of play. Usually if this is the situation made for Virat Kohli, you would have seen a Virat Kohli who's absolutely in form, taking India to a victory here, scoring a big 100. That did not happen today. He was out very uncharacteristically. And then I was very disappointed by the way Pant, Venkatesh Iyer, and Shreyas Iyer all gave away their wickets. They could have taken the match deep to an extent like Shardul Thakur did. 8 to 10 runs over is still achievable. But they just, on this wicket, you had to take it deep, the old-fashioned way, much like MS Dhoni used to do for India, and then, chase down 80 to 90 runs in the last 10 overs. But they all gave their wickets away early. And the match was actually as good as over. The 35th over, Thakur was just providing some fireworks for the camera at the death.
Right. Today was entirely South Africa's day. Since losing that first test, they have been on an upward journey, and that journey has continued in the first match of the ODI series too. The second match is day after tomorrow. Nikhil, before we sign off, what are the things that India should change? This is a short series because the time between two matches are not really too much gap. So how do India recuperate from this loss? Because it's a do or die match day after tomorrow.
Absolutely. I think a couple of changes. I would get in Surya Kumar Yadav for his X factor in the middle order over Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Shreyas doesn't have hasn't had a good run in the last 5 matches, averaging only 17. Just give Surya a chance. He is the X factor. Also, I would maybe not play Bhuvneshwar Kumar and get in, I don't know, maybe a Deepak Chahar in the 11. Yuzvendra Chahal, I think, will be given another chance. Not much changes. Otherwise, only 2 changes, I would say. I want to fit in Ruturaj Gaikwad, but I don't know how will he fit in the squad, given that Dhawan is in good form.
Right. So 2-3 changes, as Nikhil suggests, might do some good to India. We'll have to wait and watch whether in the second ODI, which is day after tomorrow, India does make that change and India's fortune changes. Thank you so much, Nikhil, for joining and giving us your valuable inputs. And thank you, viewers. We'll be covering the second ODI 2 live. Do log on to news9live.com for more news on the India-South Africa series. Thank you and good night.